So what is neuroscience? Neuroscience is essentially an understanding of how our brain works. What are some key brain operating principles? Two key ideas in terms of how the brain works is that it tries to conserve energy and it looks for patterns even when there aren't any, because it makes it feel comfortable, gives it a shot of serotonin, and it looks for change, it looks for differences, it looks for contrasts, because that gives it dopamine. And these three things in tandem working together, contrast, patterns and conservation of energy, drive the behavior. Contrast provides dopamine, patterns provide serotonin, dopamine gives excitement, variety, change, serotonin gives comfort, security. That's what the brain looks for. And this applies to every behavior that a human does, whether it is about buying stuff, whether it is about experiencing a customer service context, whether it is about trying to get a behavior change in a team. So how does this work in practice? For example, if I'm trying to sell an electric motorcycle to a 22 to 35-year-old male, then it doesn't matter that the motorcycle is electric. The 22 to 35-year-old male wants a shot of dopamine and testosterone, so that means the design needs to approximate that of a sports bike, a Pulsar or an Apache type of bike. And to the extent that it does, the 22 to 35-year-old male is going to get the shot of dopamine, the kick of dopamine that he wants, and therefore that will increase the probability that the person will buy that bike. Similarly, he also wants it to fit the pattern of a performance bike, and therefore even though it's an electric bike, it should look and feel like a performance bike, so he'll feel comfortable buying that bike. So he needs to have that comfort and that excitement at the same time. What are some applications in different contexts? So in the context of customer centricity, for example, how can I be more customer centric using the principles of neuroscience? Customer centricity from the provider perspective essentially means that I need to take actions which either make the person feel more comfortable, or make the person more excited, or make the person feel more bonded and attached to the service provider. Each one of these three requires a certain set of actions which drive certain neurotransmitters in the head. A person will feel more comfortable with something that's familiar. So if the person is coming in from a particular part of a neighboring country, then to the extent that I can recreate some of the conditions in my location which approximate some elements of the surroundings from where the person comes, automatically the person will feel more comfortable, his or her serotonin levels will go up, and they will feel that you're more customer centric. Customer centricity also means that I need to be able to provide some contrast, some change from something unexpected, which is exciting, which is different, which provides a sense of variety. That could be something new that that person wants but has not seen before. Similarly, the idea of oxytocin or vasopressin that the brain looks for, attachment, bondedness, can come from the behavior, and that can be driven by imitation. Good salespeople, for example, are able to make pitches which use the principle of mirroring. When a person sitting across the table is drinking a cup of tea in a particular fashion, the salesperson will also unobtrusively drink tea in a similar fashion, which automatically increases the perceived nearness of the salesperson to the customer. That is being customer centric. So I hope that gives you a flavor for how neuroscience can contribute to being more customer centric in particular contexts, in any context for that matter, but in certain contexts one can be even more effective by using principles of neuroscience. Thank you so much. Hope you are able to use some of the ideas.